Well, welcome you back here, okay? Now, thanks for taking the time to go get these x-rays because they've really pointed to the areas of concern and they've basically put the whole entire thing here together for me so I know exactly how to help you here today.
Good,
all right?
good. Oh,
now,
by the way, Brad, he wanted telling me to apologize to you for missing his appointment last week because he's worked for Montpere.
yes, I know.
And he was out on some kind of a call. And they call him out anytime.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. And well, Brad's been doing great here in our office. As you know, he's been getting great results, and I'm glad he sent you on in our way.
Yeah.
Because hopefully we can do the same for you. All right?
Okay.
Now, the first thing I want you to realize is here in this office, we are taking care of those subluxations. Remember, the subluxation is the thing that ultimately determines your overall optimal performance.
Right.
Again, a subluxation is going to be a bone in your spine that's deviated away from its normal position enough to cause interference in that brain-to-body communication process by interfering with the nerves. Those nerves are going to be controlling your organs and glands. If that subluxation exists, your organs and glands no longer work properly. Therefore, the organs and glands modify and regulate your blood chemistry. And if your organs and glands don't work right, blood chemistry can't be right, and therefore you can't be performing at your optimal. That is what we're going to help take care of here with you, all right?
Yeah.
Now, one thing I want you to realize is the subluxation complex is a 5-component system. The first component system is that your spinal function, as in the movements and everything, are no longer equal and optimal. Remember yesterday when we did that motion palpation? You're in areas of your spines that were very fluid, moved very well, and you got the head bob.
Shoulder.
Yeah, and also in your posture as well. And we even also measured your movements, and on your movements, as you can see here, the white areas is where you should be, the red areas is what we measured on you. You can see the bending of your head left to right is really unequal, and it is less than where it should be. The rotation is rather equal, all right? However, the direction to your right, just like you have noticed in the past with backing up the car, everything of that nature, is a little restricted in comparison to the other side. Both being less than where they should be. Also, bending your head forward and back were less than they should be. Also, here in your low back, you're moving less than you should be. Okay.
Well on everything.
Yeah, and so you can see you fit the first component very well. You have no longer the proper movements and functions inside that spine. The second one is that you actually have damage to your nervous system, right? Now, we measured your overall nervous system potential. Remember, we measured it at 59.49. So, yeah, we're only running at 60% of your capability, all right? So we want to find out how much better can we get that nervous system working, all right? Now, the third component is actually damage to some of your muscles. Didn't you find it odd that your right arm and your right leg weren't working like they should, were they? Yeah. Even though I was telling you, don't let me move it, I was still able to move it with just 2 fingers, all right?
Yeah.
Now, also, the fourth component is that chronic swelling and inflammation. Remember when I felt down on your hips here, I got those boggy spots? You had those boggy spots in your neck, and those boggy spots in your neck also cause you to be very tender as well. Because that's what the swelling and inflammation will do. They'll cause typically some tenderness in that area. Now, the fifth component is actually the damage to the spine itself. And that's what I want to spend just a few minutes here explaining to you on the significance of this damage and how we're going to stop the damage from getting any worse, heal up the damage that's capable of healing up, and get your spine back to its optimal health. All right? Now I'm going to direct your attention right here to the subluxation degeneration poster. Now, as you can see, these are all necks here. And each one of these necks here, John, is a person facing this direction. Because this is the jaw, that's the back of the head. Now, this is an ideal normal neck. You can see that there's a nice round curve in there, okay? And if you look in that curve, most of these bones all look like the exact same size and shape, except for these top two. They're very special bones, okay? Now, these bones should all basically stack nice on top of each other, all the same size and same shape. The spaces between there should all be relatively equal. And if I pull out a segment of that spine, it should look just like that. So go ahead and take a peek at that for me. As you can see, again, no damage to the bones, no damage to those discs, big spaces so those nerves don't have any interference as they come out of the spine. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks pretty good, doesn't it?
That's how that works, huh?
Exactly. Now, John, the first phase of degeneration, okay, is the first time that subluxation shows up, okay? Now, it can happen immediately, as in like an accident, a slip, a fall, or something of that nature. Car accident, which would be definitely something that could do that. Also, it can happen slowly over time with some poor form of ergonomics. Maybe like the UPS driver who constantly picks up those 5-pound packages the wrong way, and one day he goes to pick up the pen that he dropped, and he's like, oh! Not probably. I don't think it was a pen that did it. Yeah, it was happening slowly over time, over a course of many years. Now, obviously, it can happen too with constant emotional stresses and constant chemical stresses. Let's say your diet consisted of nothing but Diet Dr. Pepper and Twinkies. Well, slowly over time, as your body repairs itself, it's not going to repair to its best capability as if you eat, spinach salads and lemon water, so to speak. So what I want you to realize here is what's the first thing you notice in this phase 1 neck that no longer looks like the normal one?
Well, for one, the space between the bones is uneven.
That's very true.
And it's, instead of a nice rounded curve, it's sort of goes in.
Yeah, it's sort of like a kink almost, and it's very straight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but you can see the bones themselves, no permanent damage, right? But there is swelling and inflammation going on in there, more so in other areas than not. And if I would take that section out, you could see what it exactly looks like. You could see the swelling of the disc. You could see that actually that space in between for that nerve is no longer as great of a space as it was with this one. You can also, you can also see that there yet is no permanent damage to those bones, okay?
Yeah.
That's because it's been there for 0 to 20 years approximately,
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah.
However, once we start stepping into phase 3, what's the first thing you notice between this one and that one?
Well, the curve, it goes, well, for one, their space is not there, and then the curve goes.
Yeah, the curve is looking really distorted, isn't it?
Yeah.
How about the bones? Do you see anything going on with the bones in there?
Yeah, I see phase 2 there deteriorated up on top.
That's right. You could start to see these lips and spurs, these digging out inside the bones, roughening of those joint surfaces and everything of that nature.
Yeah.
Now, if I was to pull out a section of that, this is what it would look like. Now, as you could see, look at the extensiveness of the damage. You could start to see the reason why those spaces